Hi, Steve Walker here, and I wanted to refresh a video I did a couple of years ago now, showing the send for signature capabilities inside of Adobe Acrobat Sign. Show some of the user interface refreshes that have taken place, as well as some of the new capabilities that have rolled out. I also want to highlight the new name change. It is now known as Adobe Acrobat Sign. Just a quick word here, if you do have an Adobe Acrobat Pro subscription and you are sending documents for signature, your interface may look slightly different to the one I'm about to show. I am showcasing Adobe Acrobat Sign solutions for Enterprise, which is the full capability and it has all of the features turned on. I suggest you seek out adobe.com and have a look at the feature comparison tables to find out what you get inside of your account versus the Enterprise offering. With that, let's jump straight in. I'm on the home screen of Acrobat Sign now, and what I want to do is highlight some of the user interface changes there has been here. So we've got a nice set of icons down at the bottom now to help you get the most out of your account. So please seek out some of my other videos on creating web forms, sending in bulk, and how to work with templates, as well as the new capabilities we have around workflows and integrating Microsoft Power Automate. But we're going to do a standard send for signature. So I'm going to press the blue request eSignatures button, and it's going to take me to the send screen here. Let's enter in a couple of email addresses. So I'm going to go for John Smythe and Jane Taylor here. One of the new capabilities is the ability to add in a name when you are specifying your recipients to identify these people. So I've set this to be required in my account. I'm going to enter in John Smythe and Jane Taylor. We've got the ability to identify our signers using some authentication options here. So if I bring up the full list, we can have people add in passwords at time of signing, maybe get an SMS to their mobile device. We can have someone have a government ID checked, like a driving license or a passport. And maybe if you're using single sign-on, we can push them to your company's single sign-on page and sign into their Acrobat Sign account that way. We'll keep it simple and we'll have just email authentication. So pick up the email and sign. Let's enter in a private message to our second signer here, Jane Taylor, and we're going to ask her to please approve. So this will only go to Jane. John will not see this message. If I drop down on the left-hand side here, we've got 6 different roles that we can assign to our recipients here. So we've got approving, accepting, maybe some form filling, lots of different scenarios that can be catered for here. What I normally do is we'll go one signer, one approver. So people can sign in any order. You can toggle the switch here, and reordering participants is really easy, and you can drag and drop and hover over the top of someone else to have them complete in parallel as well. So really speed up the process of getting signatures. But I'm going to put Jane here back to signer number 2. Scrolling down then, let's add our documents to this agreement. So I'm going to click on Add Files. We've got a number of different sources you can fetch documents from. So cloud sources are on the left-hand side here. And of course, there is a template library. You can fetch recently used documents from here. But I'll grab something from this laptop. I'm going to jump into my demo documents folder and have a look at just a one-page Microsoft Word document. No fields, there's been no text tags added to this. This is just a straightforward one-page document, and I've left spaces where we'd like signers to sign. So let's press upload now. We'll tidy up the name, we'll call this the cover sheet, and the message going to all recipients will be please review and complete. Kind regards, Steve. On the right-hand side, so we can lock down that final PDF with a password if that's needed. We can set a deadline of 7 days. And if we did hit the deadline before having all the signatures completed, this does cancel our agreement and we have to start again from scratch. But we can drive reminders, and let's go for perhaps every business day. And Acrobat Sign will send out reminders automatically to the people who are holding up the process just to get them moving on with their signatures. So I mentioned this document has no fields on it. Let's check this box here because we need to use the browser now to add these signature boxes in. So with that box checked, I'm going to press next and our document is uploaded. Here is the new Acrobat Sign authoring page. We've got options on the left-hand side now to click and add to our document on the right. If we scroll down now, very, very simply here, our purple recipient, John Smythe in this case, we need him to add an e-signature at the top here next to his name. We want the date of signing, so I'll just drag that into place. And we also want him to enter in his name as well. So very, very easy to do. We've got resize handles in the bottom corner. Very simply, you can use the mouse to make sure everything is at the correct size and fills the spaces inside of your document. Let's add here Jane Taylor's name. We can drag the box to the correct size as well as the date that she signed the agreement to. And her fields come up in green. So it's very, very clear to see who signs where, and it's going to prevent mistakes and people signing in the wrong places. Everything looks good here. Let's press the blue send button now. But before I do, I just want to highlight with Acrobat Sign, there's lots of form filling that can take place, drop down buttons, radio boxes, check boxes. Do seek out some of my other videos as well, and we can go into much more of a deep dive into how you can do calculated fields and have some conditional logic on forms as well. But we've kept it very, very simple, just a signature, full name and date. So with that, that's gone for signature now to John Smythe. Let's jump over to John's inbox and see what he receives. You can see he's got an email from me. If we open this email up now, the subject line reads signature requested on cover sheet. And this is the out-of-the-box email template. You can see the Global Corp logo has been injected up here. That is a setting that was set on the account. Very, very straightforward to do. And that shows up on all the emails. And there's a limited amount of customization that you can do on this, such as changing the text down in the bottom as well. And maybe you can add a privacy policy down there if that's needed. You can also change completely the look and feel of these emails with HTML and CSS if that is required as well. However, let's click on the review and sign button now, and John Smythe is taken to the signature screen. So John could be doing this on a mobile device, he could be doing this on a laptop, tablet, it does not matter. If we scroll down now, you get the yellow tag which follows him down as he's about to sign the agreement. With one required field, it's very straightforward. Click on the box and he's got 4 options to sign the agreement. He can type his name using the keyboard. He can draw his signature using the mouse or the trackpad, or if you're using a mobile device, this actually becomes the default option. You can sign with your finger. He can upload an image to represent his signature, so perhaps a photograph of a wet ink signature on a piece of paper. He can use that to represent. And finally, send an SMS to a mobile device. It might feel more natural to turn the device sideways and sign on the glass there, but the signature comes back to this laptop, and that is how you submit the signature. We're just going to type John's name and press apply. Everything's looking good here. Let's press the blue click to sign button at the bottom, and John's involvement in this process is now complete. Let's switch over to Jane and see what she sees inside of her email inbox. Once again, Jane's got an email from me, except the subject line this time is slightly different. Approval has been requested on the cover sheet. We set her as an approver. This is how the process differs ever so slightly for her. It's the wording in the email, the subject line, and the buttons as well. And all the call to actions are telling her to approve the document. The private message that we typed is showing in the email. And if we click review and approve, that private message also shows for a couple of seconds just before disappearing. So any fields that were assigned to John, the first recipient in this process, anything that he typed in is now locked and baked into the document. She cannot modify anything that John has written. All she can do is action her required fields, and that is, of course, once again, to sign the document. Now, Jane is known to Acrobat Sign. She has signed a document before, so it's remembered her name. She doesn't have to enter that in. And if we click to sign here, it's coming up with the suggestion of what her name should be. So this time what I'll do is I'll draw Jane Taylor's signature here using the trackpad on this laptop. I'll press apply and we're ready to submit this now. If there was, however, a mistake and we wanted to decline to approve, we could do that from the options menu. can click here and enter in a reason. Of course, this reason is communicated to the initiator of the process, and you can work with Jane to create a second version here. However, she is okay to approve this on this occasion, so we click to approve down at the bottom, and that brings the process to completion. So let's jump back as me now, as the initiator of this process. Let's have a look at some of the emails I've been receiving in the background. So I've had an email from Acrobat Sign, and it's telling me that our agreement is now signed and filed. The default behavior is to have Acrobat Sign look after these agreements safely and securely inside of your Acrobat Sign account. Of course, we know a lot of institutions want to take care of their own documents, so you can instruct Adobe to delete their copy of the document if that's needed. Attached to this email, however, is a courtesy copy in PDF format. So let's double click this and get this opened up. I'm viewing this inside of Acrobat Pro. It's the same if you're using Acrobat Reader though, the free version. And what you get is the blue bar along the top of the screen here. Any document that comes out of Acrobat Sign is secure and encrypted. There is a certificate attached to this as well, which means it cannot be modified. This document is tamper-proof. And if you don't see the blue bar along the top, you know you're not looking at the original document. The signatures are in place, which is fantastic, but I want to draw attention to the second page here, which has been appended, and this is what is known as the Acrobat Sign Final Audit Report. This details all of the steps that took place in the agreement from when it was created all the way through to when it was emailed. The emails were viewed, and so was the document. When it was signed, moved on to Jane, she gave her approval, and finally the agreement completed. There's dates, times, IP addresses, and if you were signing on a mobile device, you'll actually get GPS coordinates as well. And one of the new capabilities we've got is anytime someone is reminded that they have a document waiting to sign, reminders are also captured on this audit report as well. So you've got one nice one-page document here that shows all of the steps, gives you peace of mind that this was indeed a legally binding agreement. So there you have it, just a very quick demonstration of sending a document for signature in Adobe Acrobat Sign. If you haven't done so already, I'd suggest seeking out a free trial and try it out for yourself. It's really, really straightforward to get started. Thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.